Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. This time it's another Friday afternoon, and tonight we're going to celebrate a blast from the past. As you can see, we have the Dungeoneer, Tomb of the Lich Lord, and the other boxes that we managed to obtain. To be honest with you, this is a lucky dip for me. I was browsing the YouTube board games channels the other day, and I came across Rob's channel where he was playing the Dungeoneer, and I looked at it and said, "Hang on a minute, I don't know that one. What is it?" So I watched his playthrough, and he was actually playing with some of the solo homemade rules, and this got me intrigued. So I started my research. I went through other playthroughs, BGG forums, and the rest of it, and then I decided to go for it. So I went to Geek Market on the BGG before they brought it down, unfortunately, and I found this guy who was selling the whole lot. As you can see, it's everything for the Dungeoneer for €50 plus shipping. So I said, "Hang on a minute, €50? Can't be right." And he was based somewhere in Europe, can't remember exactly which country, so the shipping was reasonably cheap. So I decided to go for it, knowing hardly anything about the game apart from these several playthroughs. I decided to go for the entire lot for the Dungeoneer. And originally, this is the very first box that was released, Tomb of the Lich Lord, and it was released in 2003. So it's almost 20th anniversary of that game. But you know, when it arrived, I went through the manual, which wasn't very clear. So again, went back to the BGG, and I went through the file section, came across this upgraded manual for the game, learned the game, and I actually love it. To be honest with you, it's I know it's old. The mechanics of the game in some of the areas maybe too fiddly, too outdated, but it's so much fun. Guys, honestly, the game's mechanics are really, really simple, but you know, the exploration, the fun of exploiting your opponent's weaknesses is so rewarding. Oh, and by the way, as you can see, some of these are still in the shrink. They are still they've never been opened. This one was released in 2006, so never opened. This one 2005, even better. Den of the Were-Rats. Okay, still in the original shrink wrap. This one is, I don't know. Let's have a look. This one is, can't see the date. Well, don't think they show us the date. 2004. Right, and there's the legendary set, Wrath of the Serpent Goddess, 2007. So I decided to start from the original box that was released, which is the Tomb of the Lich Lord. Let me just quickly tell you what the game is all about. This is the card game, PvP at that. You can play in any of the heroes showcased here on the back side of the box. So Paladin, Sorceress, Rogue, Necromancer, Avenger, and Necro Warrior. So basically the way the game plays is that at the beginning of each turn, you draw a random hero for each of the players. So you can be a Necromancer, as I said, Necro Warrior, Sorceress, and the rest of it, right? And then you enter the dungeon, right? As soon as you enter the dungeon, you have you need to collect both the glory points and the peril points, and these two colors and these two characteristics of each room are the core mechanic of the game, because every character gets these tracker cards. All right, the green ones are, as you may have guessed it, for the glory points, and the red ones for the peril points. So every time you explore the dungeon and you connect through the white doors for example, like that, like this. Every time you move from one location to another, you have to add whatever it says on the location cards. So for example, if you start here, let me just grab a random miniature from the shelf. If you begin here, you just say, okay, I get one glory point and one peril point. Then I decide to spend my movement points and one of my movement points to move into the barracks. Okay, and then I get additional 4 up to 5 peril points and 3 glory points up to 4. So why is it important? Because every turn you go through one of the phases. There are several different phases. You will see all that when I play through the game, which I will do in the next episode. You go through a phase that's called a Dungeon Lord phase, and then you can play one of the Bane cards. I call them the Bane cards. As you can see, you can summon Ghoul for 4 peril points, or a Greater Bloodlust, right? Or you can use your glory points to to buy some equipment. So depending on what you have, what your opponent has, for example, if my opponent has 5 peril points, I can spend these and summon the Ghoul, which will attack my opponent, right? And also, so different enemies, they do different things. They usually attack with melee, magic, or some other characteristics. Then some of these enemies will have different abilities. For example, this is the Dark Templar, whose ability is that all other undead cost 1 less peril point to summon. Then you have the Death Shadow, Demonic Adder, all sorts of different things, right? You can then spend your glory points, which you collect through exploring the dungeon, to equip yourself with better items. For example, a teleport staff. Why is that important? Because the purpose of the game is to complete 3 quests, right? Each character at the beginning of the adventure gets 2 quests, personal quests, and 1 global quest. Oh, wrong deck. Duh. There are so many different decks. This is the proper deck, right? So 2 personal quests. So let's presume that this character, let's pick one character for, let's say it's Tanin Shadefoot, our Darkling Rogue. Okay, and she draws these 2. Escort Lost Magician. It says Outer Sanctum Library. So we need to find the Outer Sanctum location and then find another location that's the library and collect the Lost Magician, pick him up, and just escort him to the library. So this is one of the quests. The other quest is, for example, another escort quest, Maiden in Distress. Then you need to find the Inner Sanctum and escort her to any entrance, for example, Tomb Threshold. Then we have the Sacrifice quests, Infernal Negotiations. So you need to find the Summoning Chamber and fulfill these requirements. So each character at the beginning of the adventure gets 2 personal quests, and there's also 1 global quest that any character can try and undertake, providing that they fulfill the requirements. The very first character who completes 3 quests or defeats the opponent wins the game. And that's it. Basically, that's that for the Dungeoneer. And I have to tell you, usually many people, if you watch the YouTube videos, many people try to play this game as a solo game, and they will house rule the solo rules so that they can play either co-op or solo. I quite enjoyed the vanilla style, so I play against myself. So I will play with at least 2 heroes, 2 random heroes, and they will play against each other. They will both get 2 personal quests each and 1 global quest for the whole game, and they will go turn by turn. trying to complete their quests and their adventure. So it's quite fun at that, trying to beat myself, as you will see in the upcoming playthrough. And I have to say, I wasn't expecting too much out of that game. When I bought all these sets for 50 euros plus shipping, I said, yeah, let's screw it. I can always resell it, because I was thinking about buying one box, not that many, but for 50 euros, guys, come on, 50 euros all in for any game is a fantastic price. So yeah, so that's that. I decided to go for it. I've played several games. I'm trying to get better at the rules, as you will see shortly in the upcoming video. Some of these may be too fiddly for some people, and I read the reviews that some people complained about the fiddliness of this tracker. That you have to keep in mind many of the rules that keep going on depending on the room that you encounter or you explore and the rest of it. But it's not that bad, to be honest. It's not that complicated, and it's not that fiddly. Bear in mind, this game was released almost 20 years ago, but it plays well. It's so much fun, and it's quite entertaining, especially when you have a real opponent against yourself. Unfortunately, I haven't got anybody to play with me, so I have to play with myself. Okay. But I really, really enjoy it. So, if you can grab it, if you're interested in some dungeon delving on cards with some interesting, cool mechanics of exploiting your opponent's weaknesses in order to bring more pain and suffering to them, and on the other hand, buying some equipment for yourself, for your hero, like Boot of Al-Hazard, rope that will help you overcome some of the pits and spikes, some traps, whole year lantern, mighty strikes, and things like that. The deck is quite substantial. Look at that; it's quite thick. This is the major deck in the game that provides you with all the randomness and replayability. These are the locations. There's just so many locations in the dungeon. Yeah, if you keep replaying the game, you will just learn how to overcome some of the game's mechanics. But in the end, that's what it's all about. That's the game is here to give you entertainment and so much fun. And at the end of the day, you can mix and match all of these boxes together to create one gigantic deck and have even more fun. For example, this one, which I haven't opened, as you can see, this one has been sealed since it was released in 2004. Den of the Were-Rats. You have 3 additional heroes, a thief, a guard, and an alchemist. There you go. So maybe at some point we will open one of these and make a playthrough on the channel if you enjoy what's coming. I'm going to play the Tomb of the Lich Lord, the undead theme for me. There you go. You just tell me it's a tomb, and that there's a Lich Lord, and you have a Necromancer that you can play. That's it. That's enough. You don't have to say anything else. I'm all in. So there you go. I hope I got your interest in it. And as I said, if you're intrigued, watch my upcoming video of our playthrough. Go and look it up. If you look at the BGG forums, I think it's not that highly rated by many of the players. But trust me, guys, if you enjoy dungeon delving, dungeon crawling, playing against other people with some neat mechanics, it's a fantastic blast from the past. I highly recommend that, especially because you can grab a box of, where is it, Tomb of Lich Lord for, I don't know, 10-15 euros and have so much fun. And if you can find the rest of it, just like I have, then it's even better. So there you go. This is the introductory video for the Dungeoneer, Tomb of the Lich Lord. And stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for the actual playthrough, which will be coming up shortly to the channel. Right, I'll see you in that one shortly. Thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed that video. Drop me a comment if you didn't or you did. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.